Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Wyatt Tabbert. This is Project Stillwaters, which is going to be a drone simulation environment. This is week one of the prototype phase, so I will just briefly overview the direction, a little bit of the structure of the code, and where I am headed. Currently, we're at the main menu screen. Pretty self-explanatory. Here you can see the input mapping keys for the drone. Could be your typical movements, right? As well as altitude, and your left mouse button will be utilized for the interacting laser, radio wave, however it will come about. And then the pause and unpause menu. Now we will play the game. I will start by moving forward. As you notice in the bottom left, I currently have a battery utilizing a time mechanism, and that will be adjusted. Eventually I'll use that bottom left to keep the player engaged, using that as a stressor. So you will have to continually use your battery intelligently and dock it, or go through things that would then add incremental battery power. Also, in the top left, you can see that I have a health bar. Currently just keeping it at 300, and as you can see now, when I interact with a green square and overlap with that, you can see that I am then adding health to my health bar. And if you would like to see as well, if I run into a red, it would then decrement my health bar. I will now show you the tracing. So currently I have it on debug mode, and you can see with the range it is quite a distance, as I do want it to be realistic. And it will then open a door as one of the many interactables in the near future. What I would like to do eventually with the logic in these cubes is then implement that logic into an artificial intelligence, what would you call it? Artificial intelligence turret system, where they would then shoot some sort of radar jamming signal at the drone, and or projectiles that would then either do damage to the battery, deplete the battery, and or the projectiles would deplete your health. This is currently what I have, so I just wanted to get the logic right first until I then expand those and turn them into what they properly need, whether they're AI enemies or docking stations to refuel the drone's battery. And then lastly, a quick overview of just some of the codes and where things live. Here's a lot of the movement logic, whether it's to do with the roll and the yaw, and for a lot of these, all I had to do in the input mappings is negate certain things. So just take the negative value to get the opposite of moving to the right. So those are pretty easy in terms of forward and side to side movements, as well as up and down with the altitude is quite similar. Again, just negating, so this would then move it in the positive value, and then negating the z-axis would then move it in the opposite value. And just a bunch of other stuff. I don't want to get too into it, just death and where everything lives, health components, how I'm doing, death and gaining health, and, just a bunch of different systems interfacing with each other. Here you can see it all currently. There will be a lot more to come. This, again, is just the prototype phase. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, and thank you for watching.